Welcome back to This Day in Irish History. I'm your host, Raymond Welsh. Before we dive into today's story, if you'd like to explore other significant events that happened on this day in Irish history, visit thisdayirishhistory.com. The link is in the episode description. Now let's journey back to May 10th, 1318, when the fields near Dysert O'Dea in County Clare bore witness to a pivotal clash between the forces of Gaelic Ireland and the Hiberno-Norman elite. The Battle of Dysert O'Dea was more than a military engagement. It was a symbolic blow against foreign dominance and a resounding cry for the survival of native Irish lordship. At the heart of this struggle was Conor O'Dea, chieftain of the O'Dea clan, whose stronghold lay at Dysert, near present-day Corofin. For years, the region had felt the pressure of Norman encroachment, powerful Anglo-Norman lords who had carved up much of Ireland since the 12th century invasion. Among the most ambitious was Richard de Clare, a descendant of the great Strongbow and a man who saw himself as a rightful master of Thomond, the traditional O'Brien heartland. By the early 14th century, de Clare had established a strong presence in the region, but his campaign was deeply resented by the native Gaelic lords. Tensions came to a head in the spring of 1318. Richard de Clare, determined to crush local resistance once and for all, mustered an army of Norman knights and allied mercenaries. His target, Dysert O'Dea. He believed that destroying O'Dea's stronghold would send a clear message to all the Gaelic lords still clinging to their ancestral lands. But what de Clare did not anticipate was the resolve of the local clans. The O'Briens, MacNamaras, and hEithirs, key families of the Gaelic aristocracy, rallied to Conor O'Dea's side, united by a shared history and a common enemy. The battle unfolded in the hills and glens around Dysert. De Clare's forces launched a frontal assault on the O'Dea fortress, expecting swift victory. But Conor O'Dea, using his knowledge of the terrain and guerrilla tactics, harried the Norman flanks, buying time for reinforcements from allied clans to arrive. The turning point came when the MacNamaras and O'Briens launched a coordinated counterattack, catching the Norman forces off guard. In the chaos that followed, Richard de Clare was struck down and killed, a blow that shattered the morale of his army. His death marked not just the defeat of a single man, but the crumbling of Norman aspirations in Thomond. With de Clare gone, his followers fled or were killed, and the Norman grip on North Munster was irreparably weakened. The victory at Dysert O'Dea had immediate strategic consequences. Gaelic lords reasserted control over lands long threatened by colonization, and for a time, the tide of foreign conquest was halted. But beyond its military outcome, the battle became a powerful symbol of the resilience of Gaelic Ireland during a period when such victories were few and far between. The 14th century would be a tumultuous one for Ireland. The Gaelic resurgence that followed Dysert O'Dea was not a national movement in the modern sense, but it did represent a significant shift. Across the island, native dynasties reclaimed lost ground, capitalizing on the declining power of the Norman lords, who increasingly found themselves isolated, intermarried, or Gaelicized. The Statutes of Kilkenny would later attempt to stem this tide by prohibiting the assimilation of Normans into Irish culture, an acknowledgement of just how far the Gaelic revival had come. The Battle of Dysert O'Dea is often overshadowed by larger events in Irish and British history, but its legacy endures. It was a rare and decisive Gaelic victory during a time when the native Irish faced immense pressure from both foreign conquest and internal division. In the ruins of de Clare's ambitions, a message rang clear: Ireland's spirit would not be easily extinguished. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Ireland's rich past. Please like and subscribe, and until next time, I'm Raymond Welsh. Slán go foil.